Hello everyone. Oh, I better shut that door, hadn't I? So, who have we got kicking around? Actually, that door's not shut. There we go, another quality start to a stream. Right, so let me just whip that off to the side and have a look at the chat. So, how's everyone doing? Okay, so I'm trying something new, as you can probably tell. I've currently got a laptop camera pointing at me, and I've got a external camera pointing to my desk, well, wife's desk. I've stolen it because she's actually working right now. I say working, she's on placement. So yeah. Hopefully you can hear me all right. Please let me know if you can. The output seems to be fine. There we go. Right. Okay. Seems to be coming through all right from what I've just checked on the stream itself on YouTube. Oh, let's put that on silent, shall we? Oh, I meant to do that. Right, now let's do a couple of unboxings, shall we? The first thing I'm going to have a look at is I was very lucky to find some of the, well, I'll show you. You may or may not be aware that I haven't gone for all of the Masterpiece Pluses, at least not yet. Probably won't do for a while. Simply because I've already got the character, and the pluses tend to be more anime accurate, cartoon accurate versions of the characters, which is exactly the opposite of what I'm looking for. So let's have a look at the first one. First thing here, it is. There we go. That is an MP19 Plus premium giveaway, which is what is now given away with the masterpieces by Hasbro in the Hasbro Asia area, which is who wholesales them into retailers across the world. So we tend to get these as well. Now, up until recently, I say recently, this is probably about a year and a half ago now, masterpieces tended to come with coins, which were nice, perfectly fine, but storing them, displaying them, they came in their own kind of display pouches, which were cumbersome, to say the least. This is a little bit smaller, to say the least. So in here we have a pin badge. Now obviously 19 plus is, I believe, smokescreen, at least it looks like smokescreen. If you can have a look at that, let's get it out of the bag, shall we? Those of you who've know me or have followed me for quite some time through either Geekology or whatever, or on here, will know I like my pin badges. So it's quite nice that this is a pin badge. This is a masterpiece smokescreen. It looks like smokescreen. I'm assuming 19 plus is smokescreen. I forgot to check. Another quality broadcast, yes. Nobody's talking. There's people watching, nobody talking. Right. So, normal butterfly clasp at the back. Sort of gunmetal effect. That is rather nice. I will put photos on Geekology, the group, obviously, because I'm nice like that. But let's moving on. Let's have a look at the next one. MP44. That is Optimus. That's version 3 of Optimus, the third masterpiece version, which I generally wasn't overly enamoured with, to say the least, because again, cartoon accurate. They've gone for a third Optimus Prime, and this is even more cartoon accurate. However, I can see me getting it eventually and putting it on display with MP36 Megatron, whereas my MP10 Optimus will probably end up on display with my MP36 Plus Megatron, which looks more like the original toy, because that's my thing, because I'm strange. So let's have a look at this one. Here we go. It's already obviously Optimus. Let's get that out of the bag. There we are. Oh, that's quite cool. I like that. I think I'll need to get an auto-focused web camera next time. At some point in the future. It's going to be a while. But that's quite cool. Again, butterfly clasp on the back. Pretty cool matrix design. This is going to be a standard thing, obviously. So yeah, that's cool. Moving on, MP45 version. There we go. So MP45 is Bumble, or as we know him, Bumblebee. This is the one where they've really upped the Penny Racer style, super deformed look of the car mode, the vehicle mode. There we go. That's quite cool. Definitely Bumblebee. P45. It is relief. It is in relief. It's fully embossed. It's really nice. Butterfly clasp. There we go. Let's pop those down there. Actually, you can see what we're looking at in general. And I've got one more. There we go. P47, which is Hound. Now, why haven't I got an MP47 yet? Well, it's too pale a green, I feel. I want a darker green one. And I'm hoping the if it's an MP47 Plus, it'll be dark green. I have a horrible feeling after what's been happening recently with Spin Out that the MP47 Plus will end up being Dietrich's. Oh, what is wrong with me? I know I'm knackered, but come on. There we go. There we go. So, definitely Hound. Look at that blocky head. How he wasn't in special teams, I've no idea. 47. So, yeah, there we go. Butterfly clasp on the back. Right. Now, as I've said, I like my pin badges. So these are going to go in my case. There we go. It's the fun part of having two cameras. Whee! Let's see if we can see the Autobot stuff. There we go. Right, so they'll be going in there. I'm not going to do this on camera because I've got it's a little bit too cumbersome. Some of you may know I've got two more cases like that with just Star Trek pins in. But there we go. Right, let's take those off camera. I will do some photos and put them in the Geekology as a group, so let's make sure you're on there and you'll be able to see those. Right, what else do we have? There we go. This is where I realise that camera needs to be higher. Let's see what I can do with that. This is where I take advantage of the fact my wife is a medical student, has a huge textbooks. There we are. Right, so I bet you can guess what this is. Let's get it out, shall we? Oh, look, in a shock move, it's a steel book. Who expected that? My wife didn't. Shh. No, this went on. This went in the sale at Zavi. So I thought, ooh, gotta have some of that. Managed to get a discount code as well, so I managed to get it really, really rather cheap. So I had to have some of that. That's gonna sit there quite nicely while I wait for an Aliens director's cut 4K steelbook to get done. If that ever happens, one can hope. Shall we whip this open? Let's whip this open. There we go. That's quite cool. Shall we take a photo or two? Yes, let's. Now you can fully see the complete nightmare that is me trying to do all of this stuff. There we go. Do. Right, so let's have that open. And if you can tell, I'm reaching around the camera. So yeah, there's one hand, there's the other hand, and the camera's sort of sitting on books in front of me. It's actually in shot, isn't it? There we go. There we go. Camera. Woo. There we go. And one of these days, I'll learn how to open packaging, but it is not this day. There we go. So we have a rather shiny steelbook. Love this colour effect through here. That's lovely. It's gorgeous. Not quite as scary as perhaps it should be. And on the back we have the xenomorph itself from Alien, which had a little bit of design change for Aliens, but not by much. I think the heads might have got slightly shorter, but don't quote me. I'm no Alien expert. That's David's job. Let's have a look at what we've got inside. There we go. Fairly straightforward. No more digital downloads and paperwork anymore because Ultraviolet disappeared. So we have the Ultra HD Blu-ray, which I can now play on a 1080p TV. Yeah. If you'd like to help the 4K fund, please do get in touch. But considering there's only 2 people watching, I doubt that's very likely. So there we go. And then the normal Blu-ray as well, which is fairly cool. There we go. I do want to know why that's an 18 and that's a 15. I'm guessing when the 4K disc was done, our taste has moved on. And we're not as scared of it anymore as we used to be. So nice one, British Board of Film Classification for that. Considering some of the things that happened in Deadpool, and that was a 15. This is nothing. And there we go. Yes, that's quite gorgeous. Can you see that? There we go. Nice bit of art there. He looks reasonably hurt. Ha ha ha! I'm so sorry. Yes, that is rather nice. There we go. Do 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 do. Da da da. There we go. That's quite cool. There we are. Right. I'll go and find a steelbook sleeve for that somewhere. Now, I'm wondering if there's anything else I can go and pick up. I can't remember what's kicking around at the moment because my brain's not working. Yes. Who's about? Oh, hello. My brother's online now. Hello, Stefan. How are you doing? Hope you're all right. Because obviously I've not been able to see you in God knows how long because of this whole virus. This is all fun. Here, just in case you missed them earlier, has these. I grabbed them because by the time I get figures, which in these cases are reasonably low on the old list, these may not be made anymore, or they might have changed the design. And they're pin badges, so got to have them. Got to have them. It's absolutely necessary. Totally necessary. Anybody got any questions? All two of you who are watching. Oh, hello. Stefan's fine. Stefan's fine. This is good. I'm glad to hear it. No, I haven't done the Google Doc yet. Sorry. I'll get to it as soon as I can. Today has actually turned into a bit of a nightmare. But there we go. It's like most of my weekends. I'm just totally knackered and trying to get things done. To those of you who are waiting for the June issue of the zine, I apologise. This hasn't happened, and I'm going to try and do you a double-size issue for July to make up for it. If you'd like to submit anything for the zine, please get in touch, because that would really, really help, rather than you having to read just my drivel in the zine. Yeah. Let's get that over there. Right. Evening, Vadromek. Hope you're doing all right. We will get them eventually. Yes, I know. But yes, there's a an Evangelion MP10 kicking around on eBay at the moment. I'll keep going. Yes, it's far too expensive at the moment. It's gone down 20 quid to 480. Yeah, £480. Oh boy, if only I'd been able to pick that up when it was first released. And that's what, 6 years ago almost now? Something like that. That's mad. What else can I open in front of you? Bear with me a moment. I'll tell you what, let's pop some music on, because I was cheating earlier. Have we got something that we'll have a look at some cold storage, shall we? I'm gonna play DJ now because I can. Ha ha. Oh, hello. Here's one of my favourite tracks from Cold Storage. This is Onyx. It's actually from I think it was Wipeout Pure. Can't remember. Wipeout Pure. So here we go. We'll go with that and. Back in a moment, I'm going to go find if you do enjoy that kind of music, I strongly suggest you check out Cold Storage. You can find his stuff on um, they're now on Spotify. A lot of his tracks are now on Spotify, but it's Bandcamp, which is the main place to go. And if you go to coldstorage.bandcamp.com, you'll find all the albums that are available to buy on there, and you can even listen to samples while you're kicking around on the site. Now, unfortunately, Cold Storage, Tim Wright, is his real name. He has, in fact, given us permission to use his music on our videos. And in fact, he's responsible for the theme tunes for most of the shows these days. So, for instance, let's go to the album s3e6. You probably recognize this. Of course, you'll recognise that because that's the theme tune we now use for for the main Geekology show, and that's actually called I should remember these things. Shake, Rattle, and Robot. It's on the album 6E6132 by Cold Storage. You can find it on Spotify, and that does stream. The other album, which we primarily use for Geekology Unboxing, which is Amiga Revisited 2011, isn't on Spotify, but you can get it from Bandcamp. So once again, as mentioned earlier, that's coldstorage.bandcamp.com. That'll bring you up all of his albums. All right, now let's have a look at. Oh my God, everybody's talking all of a sudden. I don't know. What is it? What is it? Do I go away and you start talking? Maybe I should just go away again. No. So where we are? So Vadra Mac, not too bad, thanks. Hope you're doing okay. I function. That's fairly reasonable at the moment, I would say. Stefan says, I'm lying on the floor in a hotel room, real Salisbury. Oh, you didn't mess around, did you? The hotel's only just opened. Why not open something of mine? Because I have this much space with this setup. So the things of yours that I've got to review will be waiting until I have a table and another person with me. Okay? Because trying to do it here is just not going to work. This is a test. I'm just messing around here, just trying to see what works. And even the thing I've just grabbed is the wrong size. So it's going to be fun. It is an awesome track. It is an awesome track. The track it's from is track. The track in Wipeout is quite cool. Dangerous Tag, hello! I'd say hi, but I've just joined a static image and some techno. Yeah, it's Wipeout, dude. It's Wipeout. Sunstreaker Titan says, Wipeout have some of the best music of any game series. Yeah, damn right. And it doesn't even need to be the licensed stuff. The stuff that was done in-house by Cold Storage, like that track you were listening to earlier, is awesome. I'm very lucky in that I've got Wipeout 2097 on both the PlayStation and the Amiga. For those of you who didn't realise it came out on the Amiga, it required one hell of a machine to run it, to be fair. If you had an A4000 and a PowerPC accelerator card, you were in luck. But the disc it came on, the CD-ROM it came on, tracks 2 onwards are the PC audio tracks, because the licensing for the music that was on the PlayStation version was only on the PlayStation version. And on the other formats, it didn't have the same music. So there's more Cold Storage, which frankly is a win as far as I'm concerned. Stefan says, Sky keeps barking, so I can't hear you at times. Rhymes. Our rhymes. I can't hear you, our rhymes. What? Shout hello to Sky when you're back. Sky! Hi, Sky! Can you hear me? That's probably confusing the hell out of you, isn't it? You daft dog. Oh dear God, is that my mother's listening to this? That's bad. Oh no. Oh dear. Vadra says that sounds familiar. There's reasons for that. That's what that's called. Right. Yes. And to be perfectly honest, you've done a really good job in choosing music for all your videos. Well, one tries. When I actually reached out to, because originally I spoke to Tim Wright, Cold Storage, in time for the start of our 5th anniversary year, because I wanted to shake things up a bit, and I wanted a special theme tune for each of our shows and so on and so forth. Now, there was no way in hell we were in a position to get custom music, our own compositions or anything like that. So I went to, I had a word with him, and I said, how much would it be to license certain tracks? And bless his cotton socks, he's given us permission to use all of his tracks, and all the tracks that come out. So yep, that's great. So, what else should we have a look at? Let's have a look at this. This is something that's been sitting in a box for at least a year, probably longer. And there's a whole pile of boxes of stuff that still needs to be unboxed and reviewed. It's supposed to mostly be with me and David together, which obviously at the moment is still not happening. David's got asthma, so yeah, let's not risk that. With what's kicking around at the moment, considering I've got 2 people I live with, my wife and my daughter, who both work for the NHS. So let's not push that particular envelope, shall we? Right, so it is... Oh, look, it's an Optimus. That's a shock, isn't it? I bet you weren't expecting an Optimus. That's the last thing you expect to see in one of my videos, clearly. It's a non-transforming Optimus, which is quite possibly one of the last things you'd expect to see in one of my videos. Do you know why he named himself Cold Storage? I'm not totally sure. It might be the fact that he's from Wales and it's a bit chilly there. Not sure. It's interesting actually, because he didn't call himself Cold Storage when he was doing things like Shadow the Beast 2 and 3. And things like that. It was only when working on EJ series and music for PlayStation, and of course the stuff on for Wipeout, that that moniker was taken up. But there we go. Right, let's have a look at this. Build your own 3D puzzle. Am I going to do that on camera? Am I hell? There we go. So you build up 3D models from Paladone. So another quality product. It's basically polystyrene, I think. Is it cardboard or polystyrene? It's polystyrene. Let's whip that out. Oh dear. There we go. That's actually reasonably cool. Oh dear, I'm so easily pleased. That's reasonably awesome. Blue eyes. What is it with the blue eyes? They're supposed to be yellow. For heaven's sake. I'll play with that at some point. It's reasonably cool. Now you see, you've made an assumption there, Vadromech. Me buying me buying a non-transforming transformer? No, it was a gift. I don't have a tendency to buy non-transforming transformers. They tend to turn up as gifts. I'm using that excuse. It's like the only time you'll find a pop vinyl in my house is because someone's given it me. I currently have pop vinyls of Wonder Woman, which is fair enough, Riker, which is definitely fair enough, and Sven from Frozen. Yep. Anyway, yeah, am I going to do that on camera? Am I hell? Wow. Okay. Any questions, people? We're now down. We went up to about 5 people watching. We're now down to 3. So I'm guessing I've scared at least 2 people off there, or annoyed them intensely. one or the other. Could be both, quite happily. Can you see the background? Can you? Do you like it? A couple of banners. I'm hoping to get the auto-based banner done soon, because Simon Williams, bless his cotton socks, has licensed the Optimus Prime image he did, which is awesome and yellow-eyed and everything. You can see that image is actually over on Geekology Autobase on Facebook, up at the top. So that's quite cool. I'm sure you've all noticed that some of the groups on Facebook have changed their names. So we've now got Geekology as a group. We've got Geekology United Starfleet, which basically was the Space Birmingham Arrivals Lounge. But what we've basically done is, because, frankly, trying to manage several groups at one time just really isn't easy. So what we've done is the neutral zone, which is basically the events group. That's me merged into, into Autobase and United Starfleet and Geekology's group, with toy fairs and things like that being mentioned in the Promenade as well. And then there's what else? The United Starfleet group obviously is in there, and the Star Trek Universe group that was started up and didn't really get anywhere has been merged in as well. Simply because it's trying to keep people on topic with Star Trek into just the current series. It's not worth it, because there's so many references back and so on and so forth. So stuff it. United Starfleet is now anything to do with Geekology and Star Trek together. And at the end of the day, Space Birmingham is a Geekology project. There is also going to be a move to work more alongside other groups up and down the country, and hopefully worldwide eventually. And it doesn't matter if they're in Starfleet International or any of the other groups, or they're independent or whatever. It's time we all started working together and raise money for charity and so on and so forth. Because it's always great when we go to, last year we were at Destination Star Trek. We were working alongside USS Iceni, who are no longer an SFI group, but still raise money for charity. So fair play to them. We'll absolutely cover if they need to. And then it was also the Ranger there, who are awesome. Great club, has been running for 22, 23 years now. Its birthday today. I can't remember this 22 or 23 years. But they were originally part of the original Midfleet. So that was that needs resurrecting, he says, having already done the logo. Right, let's see. How is work, says Stefan. How is work? Manic. Since the lockdown happened, I actually work for a charity that supports older people. Now, obviously, older people are still having to shield in a lot of cases. So we're having to make sure that, they get their shopping, they get fed, they're looked after. So yeah, if you ever see anything being shared on our groups from Age UK Birmingham or Age UK Sandwell, that's actually me sharing it. So please do have a look. Take a look at what we do. Vadromex said, I missed the start of the live stream. What were the small Transformer badges pins you had on screen? They are from the Masterpiece line. Instead of coins, they now come with pin badges. So that's MP45 Bumblebee, MP44 Optimus Prime, that one that looks like it's actually fallen out of Transformers the movie and onto your desk. MP19 Plus, which is Smokescreen, I believe, and Hound MP47. There we go. They'll be going into one of my cases. There will be photos on Geekology, the group, obviously. Right, so favourite music in a video game apart from Wipeout. Ooh, favourite music in a video game apart from Wipeout. This is from Sunstreaker Titan. Video game music other than Wipeout. See, everything that's coming to mind is from a Wipeout game. Um, brilliant. The Settlers music really doesn't suit. You know what? It's probably something from Turrican 2. Soundtrack from Turrican 2 on the Amiga was really, really good. I have so many remixed game remixes from the Amiga. It's insane. I've even got some Commodore 64 ones as well. But the Amiga was the machine that really grabbed my attention. And because it was the first machine you could really create without having to have a million bits of programming skill and so on and so forth. So it was great. Protracker alone was worth getting an Amiga for. It was awesome. And I did do some music, I'm afraid. So at some point you might have to put up with those. So yeah. What else? The Shadow of the Beasts, totally every day of the week. Even the new one on the PS4 soundtrack for that was really good. What else? Apidja, music from that's awesome. In fact, let's face it, Chris Hallsbeck, Bjorn Lynn, Alistair Brimble, and Tim Wright. There's my music. Thank you very much. That's what I listen to an awful lot of the time. Stefan says the website needs a bit of updating. Yes, it does. The Space.Birmingham one I'm thinking you're referring to. Unfortunately, I've also got to worry about things like the Geekology one, the Autobase one, and so on and so forth. There's quite a lot of work to do coming up. Need to do something with Geek-station as well, and Geekology for that matter. Stefan says, hi, it's Mom. So that's not Stefan. That is, in fact, my mom, who happens to be Stefan's mom as well, because Stefan's my brother. Hi, Mom. Hope you're all right. And I hope Sky is not going completely mental. Sky is, I think, almost a year old now, pup. She's a Westie, and he's mental, obviously. It's a Westie and it's a pup, so she's going to be mental. Badges from even more cartoon accurate Masterpiece figures. Now I've seen everything. You note I've only got the badges. Haven't got the figures. Because I like my badges. And let's face it, cartoon accuracy on these isn't going to make a scrap of difference because they're single colour. All right. Yeah. Still prime. Missing a load of detail, but then it would. Like, you know, the little vents at the side of each side of the nose bit. Anyway. Hi, Stefan. Yeah, it's you again. All right. Hello. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching this version of Alien. I just need to get all of them, basically get the funds together to get a 4K TV. So I've got the 4K player now. I just need the 4K TV to plug into it. So yeah, that's really quite cool. Love it. But I like my steelbooks. Anybody who's watched any of my stuff before will know I love my steelbooks. I'm even contemplating seeing if I can get a set of those Star Wars ones. Not quite sure how long they'll stay with me. Yes, I'm very ill, Vadramek. I'm very, very ill. Clearly. I'm just tired beyond belief, to be really honest. But there we go. All right. Any other questions? We've been running for... wow. Wow, time flies when you're boring other people to death with your own speech. Hopefully, I might actually be able to go around to David at some point and we can film something. There's still plenty in the edit queue. What I am contemplating doing... yeah, the art on the steelbook is awesome. It's just brilliant. The colours as well, they just look awesome. I will take photos of Geekology's group because that's just gorgeous. And there's the once again, there's the concept art that's inside it, which is gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Okay. There we go. I must admit, I'm tending not to pick up steelbooks that often anymore because I've got to get a telly. I need a telly. And being as I want a Sony OLED, it's not going to be a cheap telly either. But I have to admit that the current telly we've got is a Sony LED, LCD rather. It's a 1080p set from 2007. It's actually pretty much the same set that was in the PlayStation 3 demo boxes, demo units, and it's taken such a pounding, and it's still going strong. But a couple of the ports are starting to get a bit loose, so yeah, I've got to bear that in mind. But when the TV you want is a 55-inch OLED from Sony, and you want the better version of the processing, that's nearly $2,000. So it's going to take me a while to save that up. I thought I'd grab the, I don't know if you saw a few weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago, whatever, that I've got the 4K player because it's coming to the end of its life cycle in retail, and the next one up doesn't have some of the features, only to find that it's now had those features added, but it's actually had a Mark II version of the 800 player, but it's £300, and the one I grabbed was £180, but it plays all the discs I need to play, including Super Audio CD, which I love. So yeah, there we go. Regardless of how it views on his Onyx art style varied from person to person, H.L. Geiger's design was still stunning. The man was a genius. Yes, he was a genius, and stuffed over by Paramount, as he was redesigning the Borg, which is why they look so different in First Contact, and then Paramount didn't honour their side of things as much as they should have done. Anyway, Stefan says, if you want to review another Hot Toys figure, let me know. Yes, I just need to be able to go into David's house to do it, which at the moment is a struggle, unfortunately. Oh, does anybody want some music? Should we put some music on? Let's do that. Has anybody heard of Gravity Crash video game? Again, it's cold storage, which is why I can play it. So let's see, shall we? Oh. Okay, what I think I'll do now, that's Cold Storage Scarface, that's from the Gravity Crash game. It is available on Bandcamp. Please take a look at his albums on there, that'd be lovely. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the volume down a bit on the incoming music and put on Chill Out, which is a slower beat version of music from all the Wipeout games that Cold Storage has worked on. So I'm going to leave that running in the background. We'll have a look at whatever messages have come through. Let's get that going. There we go. Hopefully my voice is significantly louder than that. It seems to be on the old sampling. There we go. Right. Okay. Let's see what we've got. It's only fair if I put up the album link. I feel. There we go. There we are. Right. Okay. Let's go back to things. What videos do you still have in the queue? There's quite a lot of reaction videos. We'd started doing the first episodes of things as reactions. So there's the first episode of the new Doctor Who series, so Rose, was recorded. We did Encounter at Farpoint from Next Gen, and so on and so forth. What I think I'm going to do is do them as sort of like tasters. And if people are interested in a particular one, I've got a feeling Doctor Who is going to be quite an interest. We'll continue on with those as time goes on. That seems to be the most sensible thing we can do. At the moment, I'll just try and get through whatever videos have been recorded. There is a reaction to Bumblebee as well that's in the queue. There's at least one more Transformers video, which I think is me rounding up with David on the 25th anniversary Inferno and the remolds and repaints of that. So that should be quite fun. I can't remember how it went. It's been so long, because the thing is, a lot of these videos that I'm going back through now were actually recorded last summer. So it's quite bizarre. actually watching them back now, let alone editing them. I mean, the one that we put out, I put out not long ago, where we got Shuttle Pack 2 from Star Trek: The Official Starships Collection. That was done so long ago, and I believe we did Shuttle Pack 3 or 4 or one of them, and we've got to try and fill in the gaps because David's managed to get hold of a couple more of them now. So there's so many ships to do when we're back up and running. It's insane. I may need to sort out the Geekology Amazon wishlist, Sven. It's not working. There isn't one anymore. That's why it's not working. I never really got David engaged onto putting anything on there, so it's just mine. So feel free to just look at mine. Go with that. Anything that gets bought off that list will be reviewed in one way or another, except maybe the drugs. Me reviewing some vitamin B12, probably not the best thing for Geekology. Oh dear. Sunstreaker Titan said, reminds me of the Velocity and Velocity 2X game soundtracks. Yeah, fair play. Going off topic slightly, I know you're not the type that seeks recognition for the hard work you do for the charity, but I wanted to pass on my appreciation. Keep up the good work. Thank you very much. For those who don't know, I work for Age UK Birmingham and Age UK Sandwell, and I'm also the one of the trustees on a charity called Dazzling Dreams GB, where we raise money and buy equipment for kids. So, for instance, the charity in the past has purchased a life support machine or a ventilator or something like that, and then put it into a hospital or into a hospice, something like Acorns Hospital or something. So we don't have any paid employees at Dazzling Dreams. Everyone's a volunteer. So all your donations, as much as possible, go to buying the equipment. There are special events we do, which are also for raising money for children in need and things like that. And there is actually a single charity shop just outside the centre of Birmingham in the Highgate area. But you'll find the address for that is in the comments below, in the description below, because that's where we get our posts sent to. Because we've got, well, obviously a very good relationship with them. So one of the things we will do as well is if we get sent anything to that address to review or whatever, it's really not practical for us to try and send anything back. Plus, if you're sending something you want back, we can't guarantee it's going to be in one piece, to be brutally honest. We don't have the insurance cover for things like that because we're still a very small channel at the end of the day. We're not that far over 1,000 subscribers, which after, well, this is series 8 of Geekology we're doing at the moment. So yeah, we've not got an awful lot of resources, but anything that's sent to that address that we then review is either then sold to one of the members of the Geekology team, which obviously is 2 of us at the minute, though there are other people who get involved, so you know it does get offered out, and it's a reasonable amount of money, and any money taken from that will then be given to Dazzling Dreams because it seems only fair. If it's something that nobody on the team wants, after we reviewed it, we will eBay it or we will put it in the charity shop for sale, and again the money will go to Dazzling Dreams for their work. Okay. For those who don't know, when we're doing events, primarily at Space.Birmingham, you will always find at least a chug tin for both Dazzling Dreams and Age UK Birmingham / Age UK Sandwell on the table somewhere, or a bucket if we've managed to stick it on there. So yeah, come and find us any events we're doing. I'll try and keep everybody updated on what we're doing, so you can check it all out. Okay. Any idea who did the music for the Amiga Batman game, Batwing level? It's the same chap did the music for all of it. Let me just check, because I think it might have been Fred Gray, but I'm not entirely sure. Let me just check on that. Oh, it's Jonathan Dunn. Jonathan Dunn and Matthew Cannon apparently both worked on the soundtrack for the 1989 Batman game on the Amiga. Jonathan Dunn is probably the better known of the two. He used to work on quite a lot of stuff. Actually, thinking about it, Fred Gray was probably Commodore 64 and that kind of thing back in the day. But Jonathan did an awful lot of work, to be fair. I think he might have been responsible for at least one of the loading themes. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. But there we go. Right. Yes, Stefan's a helper. He helps me not be insane at events sometimes. Steph is looking after our website, which is going to hopefully grow into multiple websites because we need one for Space.Birmingham, we need one for Geekology, blah, 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 blah. And I need to do something with Geek-station pretty rapidly because Geek-station's primarily in the past gone to events. It's been at toy fairs and things like that, which obviously is not happening at the minute. So yeah, that might need renovating. I've been looking at the possibility of opening an Amazon store or using eBuyGum, which is an eBay-like marketplace, which is actually based in Birmingham. I love the name eBuyGum. And they do things, but one of the things they do is that the only people who are allowed to sell on there are people based in the UK. So you've got none of this having to worry about how long things are going to take to get to you or anything like that. It's all pretty much bang on, which is pretty cool, actually. And as an alternative to eBay, Amazon, OnBuy, which is another British site, actually, which I was contemplating at one point. But some of the customer service I got from them when I was trying to set up the shop was ridiculous, and they were really struggling back then, to be fair. And they seem to be a lot better set up now. Hi Linda, how you doing? I hope you've been keeping well during lockdown. It was a bit touch and go there, actually, right at the beginning. We were, before the lockdown actually happened, me and my family were in self-isolation. One of the days, my youngest son came home from school. He's the only one actually still at school now. And mentioned the fact that one of his friends at school had the symptoms and had been told by his mum to go in anyway because she couldn't afford the time off to self-isolate. Which I think resulted in quite a few people ended up with the virus, unfortunately. We were in self-isolation for 2 weeks as a result of Jim coming home with certain symptoms, which he actually managed to get rid of within 4 hours. Shame about the rest of us. His slightly older brother and his sister struggled with it for about 8 weeks. But there is an underlying issue genetically, because I've got a very mild form of chronic fatigue syndrome. My dad's got chronic fatigue syndrome. So yeah, there we go. It's yeah, as you can imagine, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. But as of now, I mean, this is the thing. I've not stopped working. There's been no furlough for me, no furlough for my wife because she's a medical student and actually is works at the QE hospital in Birmingham as well. So the last 3 and a bit months has actually been pretty insane workload wise. Because at the end of the day, when you're realizing that what you're doing is helping keep people going, it puts a whole new twist on what you're doing and focuses you somewhat. But sleep's becoming a bit of a problem. We won't go there. Stefan says, was I the only one who used to play games on the Commodore 64 tapes and found the game rubbish, so you turned the tape off and just played Invader Load? Nope. Or Painter on Joe Blade. Um, I'll show you my age, aren't I? Yeah, I mean, I must admit, Commodore 64 and Commodore 128, I'm not sure they really made that much of an impression on me in the end. It's always been Amiga since I had one. But admittedly, I did come along to Amiga late compared with a lot of people. But that's why people had to put up with me writing about it for 16 years in Micromart. Vadromech says, have you watched any of the Legendaries Monsterverse? Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, and Godzilla King of the Monsters. Watched both the Godzillas. I've now got Kong Skull Island on 4K Blu-ray, so I will be watching that at some point. Most of the people in the house have already watched it, but I haven't. So that'll be if I can't sleep one night, that's what I'm going to come down and watch, so I'm not disturbing anybody else. So that'd be quite cool. Yeah, it's a shame that the whole that the second Pacific Rim film didn't go so well, because Godzilla vs Kong, I think, is coming up, isn't it? Or is that still a thing? And at one point, it was talk about crossing it over with Pacific Rim, which would be ironic. Oh, there's a kaiju coming. What's his name? Godzilla. There we go. All right. That'd be awesome. Probably a bit over the top, but you know, I like the crossovers. Having said that, I still haven't got the trade paperback of Transformers vs Ghostbusters. I need to get that. That'd be awesome. I'm just wondering at this stage, actually, if it's going to end up being part of the what was it? The definitive G1 book collection, which I know I've got about a year's worth to go through with you on camera with David. I'll just put them into a really useful box ready. There's actually a couple of other books we've got to do as well because of Kickstarters that I backed about 2 years ago. It's insane. But there we go. Right. Let's go back. Yeah, Stefan, I used to save lunch money to buy game tapes. Yeah. Must admit, I did the same. Don't tell Mom, for heaven's sake. I can't remember what I was buying though. What was it? I can't remember. I was saving the money up for something. Probably an Amiga. This would have been back at school and I was writing things like feedback and stuff like that. Kong vs Godzilla is still due next year, all being well. Let's assume that's gone back a year, because 2020 has been a bit of a wipeout. Let's be honest. I'm still looking forward to Wonder Woman 1984 at some point, and the Bond film at some point. But we'll see. Linda says, sorry to hear that, Sven. I hope things pick up for you. What were your thoughts on the Picard series? I was quite disappointed with it, to say the least. Okay. We've actually got a video coming up for that. As soon as David and I can be in a room together, that's one of the things that we're going to do. Because we did do the reaction to the first episode. What else was that? We did record a reaction to episode 2, but the footage wasn't great. So I'm going to recover what I can of that and then mix it in with me and David talking about the rest of the season at some point. Did I enjoy it? In the main, yes. Was it anything like I was expecting? Not even close. Am I annoyed that they threw away so much that they'd set up in Countdown, which was the preview of it was a prelude to the 2009 Star Trek film, which basically had, before having been regenerated into data using the memory engrams that had gone into him, and data had basically come back as part of inside B4's shell, to all intents and purposes, and was now captain of the Enterprise. Um, Not going down that path was a shame. Am I happy with what they did? Not hugely. It was well made. Not sure about the writing, to be fair. Um, I think some of the things they did with Jean-Luc were going a little too far. And I think it was a shame that the ships were virtually identical in that last episode, or Starfleet vessels that were under the command of acting Captain Riker. But there we go. Never mind. Let's have a look. Where else are we going to go? Did you know that Magic have released Godzilla cards in the last set? No. Actually, no. I think you've told me, actually, haven't you? I heard something about it. But there we go. Stefan says she heard that. Sorry, Mom. Black Widow, the Black Widow movie. Yeah. That's still due, isn't it? Catch that at some point. Yeah, Black Widow is due this November. Still, hopefully, fingers crossed. What did you think of Titans season 1? I really enjoyed Titans, actually. Very much in the ilk of a certain period of some of the comics, I thought. I quite enjoyed season 2 as well. And I like the fact that it was. I haven't seen Crisis on Infinite Earths yet, because I'm trying to wait until it's legal to watch it over here in some kind of decent quality. I know the DVD's out. I want to watch it on Blu-ray. I want to watch it in high def. And the fact that E4 haven't actually aired the Batwoman episode, they skipped it for heaven's sake. It's just really irritating. But once again, we're left floundering because we're the UK and not in the US. But there we go. Never mind. Top Gun Maverick and Ghostbusters as well. Yes, Autobot Maverick looks awesome. So yes, I believe there's going to be a Top Gun Transformers crossover comic eventually, because the thing is with that Top Gun, with the Autobot Maverick toy, is it hasn't officially been announced yet. It was sort of like skipped under the radar a bit, that one. I don't think Hasbro were anywhere remotely ready to announce that. And since that was leaked out, we've actually had Gigawatt announced, which is the Back to the Future Transformers crossover, using a retool of what looks to be the Sideswipe mold from War for Cybertron Siege. But there we go. I am very much looking forward to all of those. I want to know where Kit, Airwolf, and Streethawk are. Sebastian says, hi, are people in the UK still wearing masks and social distancing for the most part? We're supposed to be. Legally speaking, at the moment, you're supposed to be wearing a mask if you're on public transport. If you're using a taxi, if you're on a bus, if you're on a train, you should be wearing a mask unless you have a medical reason not to. However, bus drivers and so on and so forth are getting an awful lot of abuse for requiring passengers to do so, and people are kicking off. Which is ridiculous. Social distancing should still be in place, but even in the middle of the thing, when I was in Asda, which is our version of Walmart, Asda was bought by Walmart a while ago, about 20 years ago now. There's one-way systems in the shops to try and make sure we're all flowing in the same direction, so we can keep our distance without crossing over paths and so on and so forth. Nobody's paying any attention. And on more than one occasion, someone's bumped into me. They're paying that little attention. I'm looking at something on a shelf, and they're actually walked into me. It's pathetic. I actually injured my leg as a result of that 2 Saturdays in a row. I'm just like, oh, really? So yeah, I've got some masks I got made up with the Space Birmingham logo on. We've got some medical masks in the house because with 2 NHS workers in the house who can't actually enter the hospital without a mask on. That's fair enough. My wife has actually got trained up for the Nightingale. I don't know if you're aware, Sebastian, what the Nightingales are. We've actually got essentially field hospitals set up at Excel down in London, at the NEC here in Birmingham, and in a couple of other sites, which are usually exhibition sites. The likelihood of those Nightingales being completely deactivated before Christmas is nil, pretty much. Fortunately, at the NEC, they're only taking up 4 of the 20 halls. The NEC is huge. It's sitting next to Birmingham Airport and is basically the same size as the airport, including the runways. It's enormous. The number of hotels around there and so on and so forth. That's why Destination Star Trek was run there. That's why one of the hotels on its periphery is where Auto Assembly and where TF Nation is run. Because it's in the perfect place in the country. Everybody can get to Birmingham. It's the central hub of all the rail network. It's a central hub of the coach network. Yeah, it's the meeting place, which is why it was kind of disappointing when Destination Star Trek ended up going down to London for this year. But obviously that's very unlikely to be happening now, because it's at Excel, which is currently an NHS Nightingale. But there we go. Plot of the Black Widow is mentioned in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is meant to be coming out in August. We'll believe that when you see it. That basically be the Falcon getting ready to be Captain America, from what I understand. Vadromex said, I'm all over the Back to the Future crossover toy. 2 of my favourite franchises. I'm wondering with Gigawatt and with Autobot Maverick, if, like with Ectotron, there will be a second toy at a bigger price point, at a higher price point. Because I love that Optimus. That's awesome. I'm wondering if because we're not quite sure how big that Autobot Maverick is, are we? I mean, I think everybody's assuming it's sort of like Voyager size, but we're not really sure. Obviously, to do the Enterprise in the same scale would be enormous. Because of course the aircraft carrier in Top Gun was the USS Enterprise CVN-65 nuclear aircraft carrier. So repaint of a large version of Broadside, I'd live with that. That'd be cool, as long as it comes with a little Autobot Maverick that's the same scale. Yeah, let's do that. And as for Back to the Future, what would be the bigger toy? If there was a bigger one, what would they do? The train? Would it be the train from Back to the Future 3? Huh? That could be quite a laugh. But we'll see what happens with that. What about Blue Thunder and Highwayman crossover as well? Blue Thunder, I've never got into Blue Thunder. I mean, I could understand people who loved it, but I was definitely an Airwolf person rather than Blue Thunder. But then I always saw Knight Rider or Kit, Airwolf, and Street Hawk should have been a team. In fact, they should just repaint a bunch of Protector bots as those guys. Can you imagine them combining? The question is, who else would you have? Would you have the A-Team van taking the place of First Aid? Oh, well, Airwolf would be Blade's replacement. Kit would replace Streetwise. Groove would obviously be replaced by Street Hawk. What would you do with? Obviously, we go with A-Team. That makes sense. The A-Team van. Who would be the core one? Which fire engine type vehicle would we do with that? Because it can't be Goliath. But we could have a Decepticon team that's got Goliath in the centre. That'd be awesome. It'd basically be the Stunticons, wouldn't it? With Goliath smack bang in the middle from Knight Rider. That'd be awesome. Okay, let's have a look. There's lots of things coming up. What about Blue Thunder and a Highwayman crossover? We've done that bit. Wonder if Star Trek. What is Highwayman actually? I don't know Highwayman. Doesn't ring a bell. Wonder if the Star Trek Aliens crossover comic might still happen. That could be a really fun one. Kirk versus a Xenomorph. That would be quite cool. Talking about that, where's my Fortress Tiberius toy? I want an Enterprise that turns into Fortress Tiberius. Come on. Come on. Where is it? I want that. Doc Brown's van, perhaps. Getting shot at by Libyans. Hot Toys made a DeLorean, you know. I'm not a huge fan of the DeLorean. It's no kit, is it? I want kit. I want an actual kit. I want a 1982 Trans Am in black. There we go. Emma's wagon from Back to the Future Part 3. Oh my. Okay then. It's going to be the clock tower, isn't it? It'll be the clock. Oh yes, it's a repaint of Metroplex. What? Great Scott, yes indeed. Great Scott indeed. Maybe Snowman's truck as the core part body for that team? Snowman? Am I missing something? Snowman's truck. No, doesn't mean anything to me. Maybe I'm just getting old and decrepit. It's more than likely. Especially late. I don't know. What would we do? What would you do for the core part? Because obviously with the protector box it would have been Hotspot, the fire engine. Which I believe was a remold of well, it was shared parts with Onslaught. Smokey and the Bandit. Wow. Okay, I don't remember that film at all. I know it exists. That's about it. I don't know. We're going to go with 80s stuff. There's not really any fire engines that stick out, are there? Of course, we could just go for a truck, I suppose. I don't know, could they retool it so it's the Night Industries truck? I don't know. I'm just going back to Knight Rider over and over again because that was one of my favourite shows apparently. Not that I can remember, but minor point. I thought Kit was a Pontiac Firebird. Now Kit was a Trans Am, which is actually a Pontiac Firebird with a kit on it. Ironically, the Pontiac Firebird, the 1982 Pontiac Firebird and 1982 Pontiac Trans Am were in fact the same base vehicle, similar to say a Ford Galaxy and a Ford S-Max are now. All right, Highwayman starring Sam Jones. Is that the chap who was Flash Gordon? And was very cheesy, but did have a huge truck with a cab that turns into a helicopter. Sounds a bit like Mask. Night Industries truck would work well, especially if Kit would still drive inside it. Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Not sure who else we would go with though. Definitely can't go with Goliath. Tell you what, if we were doing a Decepticon team, Goliath as the centre one, which would obviously be based on Motormaster. What else vehicle-wise would go with that? Bad guy. I mean, car, obviously. Hopefully with a voice chip from Peter Cullen, just to really take the mick. What else? What else? Evil vehicles from the 80s. Fire engine from Trumpton. Oh my god. I've just got an image in my head of Windy Miller's windmill being strapped to its back as some kind of jetpack. Why not? Why not indeed? Oh dear. I once saw a black Ford Probe for sale that had kit set up, including red lights. That's pretty cool. Right, ladies and gents, I'm going to have to draw this to a close because my wife is about to get out of her shift at the hospital, and I need to go and cook her some food. So, thank you very much for watching. This will be replayable, so those of you who missed the beginning, you can rewind back once it's all processed. And once I've got a chance, I will get the photos onto Geekology, the group. So if you're on Facebook and you aren't part of Geekology, the group, please do look it up. We have also got the Patreon page. So if you go to www.patreon.com/geekologyuk, you will find our Patreon page there. Subscribe to both here. This is Geekology 2, which is my channel, Sven of 9. And there's also the original Geekology channel, which I'm sure you'll be able to find in the links below. So, thank you very much for joining me. I hope you all have a great evening. And I will see you soon, hopefully, in a video I've managed to edit at some point without falling asleep into my keyboard. All right. Good night, all. Stay safe. Keep your family safe and just chill. Let's ride out what's going on in the world and not get too mental. All right. Oh, and I know the pubs have opened in the UK, well, in England today, and I saw queues outside them and the barbers. Really, people? Really? Come on. Speak to you soon. Good night, everyone.